Hello everyone and welcome back for another Monday video. It's Elizabeth here. You know, sometimes I feel like I don't get to share what happens in my week with you guys. I just get this little chunk of time with you. And today I want to tell you about my whole week and how I literally only watched The Circle. Oh my gosh, you guys, I literally finished it in 3 days. This is a video about Netflix's show, The Circle. All my friends are telling me that I should be on it and the show is made for me. And I personally think I should be on it, and it is truly made for me to be on it. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. Don't watch this video. Watch The Circle, then come back and then watch this video. A reality show of 8 people going into this sort of hotel, and they're in The Circle. And The Circle is this voice-activated social media where all 8 contestants are in their own rooms and they basically communicate to the rest of them through The Circle. Well, catch is you don't know who these people are. They could be catfishing you. Basically, you're competing to be the last one standing and the highest ranked in The Circle, and you win $100,000. So they start out with 8 people, and then each week they'll eliminate or block someone, and then someone else will come into The Circle. It's one of those shows where you start watching and you're like, I don't want to like this, but it's so addicting. So I think something that's really interesting about the show is having new people come on every week, and something that I struggled with while watching was like, I always was rooting for the OG 8 people that were in. Like, I wanted those people to make it to the end because they were there longer, they were making the connections longer, and you know, if one person, aka like Rebecca, was catfishing someone, he had to be in the game longer and convince people longer. And these other players that would come in every week, you know, they had to get acclimated to The Circle, which is a very difficult thing in and of itself, is that they're disadvantaged to not being in The Circle in the first place. And I know they get to like secretly watch people and get the feel and the lay of the land. I think something they could do next season is sort of add like an additional advantage for them. But they did have so many twists, like, oh, it was so good. This is just me like picking apart little things that I think that can make the show better, because I was always rooting for those original people. In order for them to make their way up in the rankings when the OGs have each other's backs a little bit more. Something else that I was missing from this season was very much more of a competitive drive, and I think I saw that a lot more in Joey towards the end. I just felt like people were loving each other so much on the show, like, I love you so much, I love you so much, and not taking the chances to stab each other in the back a little bit more. I don't know if that's because they only are allowed a certain number of private chats every day, but it use so much more of a competitive drive and nature, even though they all love each other and it's so nice to see. But I guess like something more along the lines of how Big Brothers, like at the end of the day, they're all like, I love you, we'll be friends outside of the house, but they freaking backstab, and catfishing alone is such a big backstab. Like with Rebecca and Shuby, I love Shuby. Rebecca was basically lying the whole time. That's something I would like to see in the next season. Those are my tiny little complaints. The show is absolutely amazing and addicting. I think what I would do on the show is, you know, make sure I would be private chatting people all the time. Like getting to know people more from a personal perspective and then using that to my advantage, which isn't really a good thing to do, but I'm trying to win $100,000 on the show. I feel like the rankings were genuinely like, oh, I like this person the most, and then this is the person, and this is the person, this is the person. I don't have a connection with that person. For me, I would be looking at it in a way of, oh, I know everyone loves Shuby. I can't put him in the top rankings because I know other people are going to be putting him in the top rankings, so I'll bring Shuby down. Joey was being strategic at the end, and I think he did a really good job figuring out his rankings towards the end of the season. That's what helped him win. These are my rankings if I was ranking the players off of, okay, this is who I like the most. Shuby, which is everyone's favorite. Everyone loves Shuby. I get it. We all get it. He's the best freaking guy. I want him to be my best friend. I know he lives in Los Angeles. If you're watching this, Shuby, I want to see you. I want to hang out with you. And then Sammy, because Sammy was just so real and was speaking her mind. So obviously everyone, all the players aren't hearing the other players' thoughts the whole time. But Sammy was so real, talking to the cameras, like talking to everyone, being like, I feel like that's not the right thing to say. Joey and Sammy are like second and third for me, but pretty much the same. Joey was like, he grew on me every episode. Beginning I was like, oh, I get it, I'm Italian, like I get the whole deal. Just so like, I got your back, man, like I got you. He was also just really entertaining to watch throughout. Then I would choose Mercedes, aka Karen, because I thought she did a good job catfishing. The only thing that would have changed it for me to make it more believable is if she had different pictures. If she had different pictures, people wouldn't have caught on to her that quickly. Followed by Rebecca, aka Sieber, who was also really entertaining to watch, and he kept his surprise in secret for a while. Shuby didn't even know until he met him, which was really fun and exciting to watch. And then it would be Chris, who was also an OG. I just feel like he wasn't trying to make actual personal connections as much as the other people were. Sean, who, oh, bless her heart, was so sweet. Because of society, she thought, I can't go in as the person I am, so I have to keep my personality the same, but make my appearance different. Sort of with Shuby, I wish that she would have just went in herself. Society norms, it's just, you know, you hear people saying like, oh, like people that are bigger or heavier, like they're not as attractive. And Sean is gorgeous, but because of the way society fed her insecurities, she felt like she couldn't be herself. And I think that's what people wanted, because they were all so accepting and all really great people that they wanted that. I wish she played the game a little bit better. And the rest would be Ed and Tammy, his mom, Bill, who wasn't in there for very long, Antonio, also not in there for very long, and Miranda. Like, Antonio and Miranda, I guess, are tied. I don't know if I would hang out with her. And Adam, because I thought he did such an awful job at being a catfish. I thought he was a really rude and bad guy. And then Alana, because she was only there the first night, so I really can't say much about her. Those are my rankings as me just watching the show. If I were to be on the show, I basically would just swap all of these, or at least I'd get to know what everyone else was thinking. So then if I heard like, oh, everyone loves Shuby, great, he's gonna go at the bottom of my ranking. I literally had to make this video because I just wanted to talk about it because I'm obsessed with the show. Highly recommend it. Love reality competitions. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and comment down below what your rankings are if you watch The Circle, because I want to know your thoughts too. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, because I post a video every single Monday. And I will see you guys next Monday. Boom, boom, bye!